Well, good morning and welcome back. I'm joined by our special guest, Congressman Greg Gianforte. Thanks for waking up with us today.
Justine, Happy New Year. I haven't seen you since the New Year.
I know, right? And we're already well into we're getting into February.
Yeah.
So it's been quick.
Yes.
But anyway, thanks for waking up with us today. We'll jump right into it. Let's start by updating your race for governor. What's your timing on announcing your running mate and formally filing for the primary?
Sure. Well, we've been so encouraged as we travel the state. People want business experience in Helena. So I'm going to announce the filing. I have to file by the first week of March.
Okay.
And stay tuned.
All right. Well, next question then. You'll be running against, of course, a pair of GOP candidates with some solid name recognition and election experience in Tim Fox and also with Al Olszewski. How does that make this race different from 2016?
Well, I've never gone into a race without strong opponents. But in this race, it doesn't matter Democrat or Republican. I'm the only one with a business background. And as I travel the state, people want more high-wage jobs so their kids don't have to leave the state. I'm going to bring my business experience to state government to make government more efficient and bring back a culture of customer service. I don't think that's two things that get associated very often. And we're going to lower taxes to help people prosper here in Montana. So that's my focus. So I'm communicating a positive message about what might be possible for Montana with business leadership in Helena, just like we've seen at a national level that got our national economy going.
Okay. There have been some indications that Fox has the moderate GOP support and that Olszewski has conservative backing. So how do you go about carving out a position somewhere in between with voters?
Well, we've been so encouraged. The endorsements that have been coming in, Donald Trump Jr., Susan B. Anthony list, Gun Owners of America. We've had significant financial support from every corner of the state. The polling that we've had indicates that we have a strong lead because our message is a positive one of hope, and we have a track record of creating high-wage jobs here in the state. And honestly, Montana families, for too long, our kids have gotten exported along with beef and grain. And I'd like to see Montanans be able to prosper right here in the state through a stronger economy and more job opportunities.
Keeping our youth here?
Exactly right.
Okay. There's been some concerns expressed lately that you're not the best choice for health care and education issues. So what's your response to those criticizing?
Well, I think that what we have lost is this ability to bring people together. My wife Susan and I'm proud of my record in Congress. I have a whole number of bills that have been signed into law by President Trump that have helped Montana. And in my business experience, I've had to bring people together. In Washington, we rented a little apartment a block from Capitol Hill, and we filled the freezer up with elk and venison. And I have members of Congress of both parties over, Democrats and Republicans, and we break bread together. And you know, two people don't have to agree on everything to find things they can work on. So I've introduced over 15 bills this last year on health care to get prescription drug prices down. In fact, I just had a bill pass the U.S. House in December with 400 votes. It was completely bipartisan. People have thought that bipartisanship doesn't exist in Washington anymore. But this bill increases pricing transparency so that people will pay less for their drugs.
Okay, and you may have already addressed some of those things, but what are you most proud of during your 2 years in Congress?
Well, I think the biggest thing we did was the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Working with President Trump, we've been able to help Americans and Montanans keep more of their hard-earned money and peel regulations back, and the results are obvious. You know, we have a very strong economy, some of the lowest unemployment we've had in over 50 years. Wages are growing, particularly amongst lower income families. And then I would say working with the president here recently to get these trade deals done. Both the USMCA, which was too long in coming, but that's good news for our Montana ag producers, so they'll have better access to foreign markets.
And then, of course, you're here with us today, and then later today, I was looking at your schedule, you're honoring 2 veterans, right, in Hamilton, and that must be one of your highlights when you get to travel around the state, things like this.
It is. This is a program I created when I got, because it's always a good time to honor those who have served country and community. Today we'll be honoring a gentleman, a Marine from Lolo, Justin Bradley, at the American Legion here in Missoula, and then we'll travel down to Hamilton and honor another one. We've done over 60 of these around the state. It brings the veterans community together, and it just allows us to shine a light on individuals that have sacrificed for our freedoms and then come back and served in our communities.
And before we go, I'd like to get just your thoughts on a whole as far as the impeachment goes. Obviously back, this week, and your general thoughts. I
think we'll all be thankful when it's over.
Yes.
It's been a a sham process from day one. I think that we have elections to pick presidents. Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff have been running this process that has not respected the rule of law, and now we get to see the political theater move over to the Senate.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing some of those thoughts with us this morning, and thanks for joining us
My
here
pleasure.
on Montana
Thank you,
this morning.
Justine.
Yeah.